This is Critical Nonsense, our high lowbrow show about culture, science, and tech. This week, Aaron asks us about protecting our sense of possibility.
Woo!
And I miss Joey. This is what Joey sounds like.
I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Joey Club.
Oh, wow.
This is what an Aaron sounds like.
And this is what an executive producer and one shot on the back of a flatbed truck playing the piano Jess Vander sounds like.
Hi, this is Jess.
A little Vanessa Carlton, a little Chapel Roan. I think that there's definitely a through line there. There's a spiritual continuum.
You know, because I still miss you. And now I wonder.
Well, if I could fall to the sky, do you think time passes by? Oh, you know, how them miles if I could just see you
Tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
We sort of collectively.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry.
Are we doing later Vanessa Carlton?
No, that's just the third chorus.
I know, but we could just keep like, I don't want to be a bride.
No, we're not going to do it. No. No, we can't. No.
Okay.
Bring us back.
Okay.
Bring us back.
Okay.
What are we doing?
We sort of collectively landed on a question, but I think maybe Aaron, as the one who distilled it into a question we could use, you should set us up.
Let me set us up. I'll be a temporary synthesizer in chief. Jess will fix that in the wrap up corner later. We were talking a lot about cynicism. We were talking a lot about how, whether it be kind of conversations and growing at work and in our careers, a little bit about the state of the world today and how deep and dark and terrifying it is, TM. That ultimately we're especially now living in a time where cynicism is the easy route, where cynicism is like kind of the default language of the day, and in many cases can shape the form. It can become like the boning of the armor that a lot of people develop as they are coming into their own. And so the way that I synthesized our conversation was into a simple question of, how do y'all protect your sense of possibility?
Unfounded optimism.
Unpack that more, please.
I think that I was talking to someone yesterday. I was at a 2-year-old's birthday party, and I was talking to one of the moms of another child, and she was just saying, like, I'm having these conversations with younger people at work, and you know, talking about new things they can accomplish, or like how do they like continue to progress and whatever. And every time that something comes at them, they're like a hurdle, a speed bump, a roadblock, whatever, it kind of completely shuts down. Like the things stop for them. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, there's of course in you know, a sort of like jingoistic way of like thinking about it. I was like, when you get punched in the mouth early and often, you get used to getting punched in the mouth. And so you begin to like realize you can keep going. I mean, I guess that conversation probably can go one of two ways. You get punched in the mouth and you never sort of like get back in the ring, or you get punched in the mouth and you're like, wait, I'm still here. I want to keep pushing. And I think for me, it was just like you hit these speed bumps and you have a choice. You're like, do I keep pushing? Do I like go against what maybe logic of my immediate understanding of my circumstances is and stop, give up, or you just keep pushing with the hope that like you could turn it around, you could make something better out of the situation, that like just keep grinding out at a problem until you can sort of like break through whatever that impediment is. And I think for me, like whether it's a personality trait or whether it's a like some sort of experience or like modeling behavior from people I've seen, I'm not sure. It's just sort of like, well, that sucks. All right, keep going.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what's interesting is that I do think there's definitely an element of life experience about just being around. Because like if you talk to someone in their like 60s or in their 80s, the way that they talk about things and the things that bother them just are very, very different because they have a lifetime worth of data points to be able to triangulate things within. And I think there is no question that modern American adulthood, like the journey from child to adult, is an assault on imagination. Like, I think that people growing up today compared to 40 years ago didn't have school shooting drills, didn't have this type of like access to the world melting down around them every day. And also didn't have, I think, like a language of or an expectation of like being open about what you want and being open about what you need. And I'm definitely like bundling a lot of I'm bundling boomers and the silent generation, other generations, and doing some like lumping in there. So I want to make sure that like I at least sort of like acknowledge that what it is to grow up as a professional today, as a person today, is literally an assault on your ability to think about what could be. Like every day and every moment is kind of pushing you to say, get in line, focus on this right now, and everything is really critical. But I think that the truth is, and has always been, exactly what you're saying, Joey. Like, you gotta just keep moving forward, and at some point you've got to realize that punch in the gut wasn't debilitating. That food poisoning you had is not going to kill you. Like, I think that those are really important, and I acknowledge that it's not equally hard or equally easy for everybody to move through those gates. There's a lot of factors that slow that down.
If I may.
You may.
I wonder if we are beyond the Kelly Clarkson Stronger era.
Well played. Well put.
We've talked a lot about resilience on the show.
Kelly Clarkson.
Wow, 40-year-old version. Yes. Yes.
And I feel like what is interesting now on the internets, though I know very little about such things, but if there's something that I know is that part of the thing that I have seen around cynicism is that like people are trying to democratize or like democratize sort of like the insider secrets that may be holding you back or getting in your way, and that actually you don't need to be, wallowing in the downtroddenness. It's actually all of this, like what they don't want you to know is culture.
In 5 easy steps.
Exactly. And I think that, that I feel like what is actually happening is a shift more toward the mentality that it is actually like a matter of gatekeeping. And it's not that the world is on downward spiral. It's that they are keeping the secrets of the palace. And if you don't want to get one pulled over on you. A long time ago, working on a project, Joey knows this well. We were introduced to this idea of the friar and the combina, a phenomenon that is it's like a cultural phenomenon in Israel, where you are either basically the one who's pulling over a move on somebody, or you're the one getting a move pulled over on you. And like that distinction of like, am I going to let someone pull one over on me? not today. I feel like that actually, to my mind, is more about like the moment of cynicism that we're in. One that is less trusting of other people, one that assumes that there is a gate always being kept, even when it isn't. And that is what makes it so hard of like, well, on one hand, we're trying to empower people to recognize that actually, you don't have to let things come at you, that you have strength and opportunity and a reason to be resilient. But there's a world where that gets taken too far, to assume the worst of people, to assume that there's something that someone knows that you don't, when really that's not true.
Yeah.
A thing that I love about, or that sparks for me on this, is that I think that I wonder about how much, I think that there is an assumption, a false assumption, that the gatekeepers that exist are an organized cabal that is smart and capable and
the Illuminati.
Centralized. The Illuminati, Spectre, if you're a James Bond fan.
Freemasons.
Like, pick your spooky ooky group, but they sit in a room and they figure it out together. And
they're so smart and they know, and they're trying to keep it from me.
Yes. And the reality is, not only are they all messes, but like it's almost like the gate has been built like and is reacting to just like the weather around it. And sometimes like the wind is blowing. And I'm not saying that these people don't have. What I'm trying to say is that like it is not a coordinated thing. It is a system that is broken and that like causes a lot of cause and effect that perhaps is a better boogeyman for you to be thinking about, or for one to be thinking about, than individuals who are standing there like St. Peter lets people in, or like whatever, and like holding people out.
Well, he does let somebody in. Yeah.
He does. He's like, that's kind of his whole thing. And I have to throw out, if I can squeeze one little thing in there too. I've been watching Traitors a lot on Peacock, and it's a great show. It's popcorn fodder. It's so much fun. It's hosted by Alan Cumming, and the general premise of the show, if you're not familiar with it, is that a bunch of quasi-celebrity people from various social media or various reality show properties are put in a house and are told that anywhere between 1 and 3 people amongst them in this house is a traitor. All you have to do to win the game is stay in the house to the end, and you get $250,000 or something like that. If you are a traitor and you make it to the end, you get all the money. If you are not a traitor, you split it with however many faithfuls are still left. I've now watched 3 seasons of this. And especially, and there are like, it's been the US, I've only watched the US seasons. This is around the globe, like the US, like the last nation to get it. But the thing that struck me last night when I was watching the episode is that like the thing that is so brilliant about the show, and that makes it fun, and that makes every season interesting and different, is that the enemy is not the traitors that are selected or that like are converted. It is the system. It is how the setup of the show makes people read each other differently, interact with people in a very suspicious way. It makes traitors be worried about traitors. It makes faithfuls be worried about faithfuls. And it is absolutely the best example sociologically to me of like, if you are just told that a threat is amongst you and is going to attack you, how the tribal mentality that starts to emerge and the individual psychologies that start to be at play, it's a wind-up doll, and you just watch it happen. And if I learned anything from that, or that I want to take away from it, it's how about I recognize the systems that are in place that are creating incentive structures for me to think a certain way, and instead be critical of those incentives, be critical of those impulses that are being generated from that. I mean, that's a very highfalutin way to think about it, but like, let's not let the system rob ourselves of our imagination.
Yeah, I mean, that it's like, yeah, that sounds nice. and also to recognize why it's hard. I feel like as you were talking, like something that clicked for me was this idea of like, all of the what you described as like the assault on the imagination, you could think that would leave us with like our innocence being stripped from us. But actually, I feel like what it's done is aggravate our innocence. Because when we are innocent, we assume all of these things and our brains go wild, right? Of like, like there are adults who know what they're doing, and that like I'm, and that your lizard brain gets in, sort of dialed all the way up, and like now you're just like you're not thinking too much about yourself. It's like when you're in that more innocent mental state, you don't have all of those, all of those rational and more centered ways of thinking. It's way easier to let things run hog wild, and so it's just really interesting, like how to sort of like not to like remove any of that, but to your point of like, if that is the thing that's happening via a system, a circumstance, and so on that we are in. Again, I almost want to bring back the refrain, the original question you brought to us of like, then how do you protect your sense of possibility and get to that point, right?
Yeah. It makes me think of this idea of cultural technology. There's this idea like within cultural evolution and like cultural evolutionary theory that like when you introduce cultural technology, like be that democracy, be that communism, be that bureaucracy, be that concepts like susu or whatever it is, where there's a new piece of cultural technology exists as an idea of how we're going to engage with each other, but then sort of changes the way that the systems work. When we look at how a lot of our systems, and we can focus, for our benefit as Americans, we can sort of look at America, like the American dream and the particular set of cultural technology that you have in the US is oriented, the American dream like started as like, if you work hard, anything is possible. And it's sort of like over time, like people started like forgetting like the work hard part and focusing on anything is possible. And even to the point of, like work hard in school, work hard in college. But like once you do that and you go out into the real world, like I already worked hard. Now like the world will be kind to me and that thing doesn't go away. Like our set of cultural technology in the US is oriented more towards an individualism and self-reliance and rugged individualism and those types of ideas for good, bad, or other. And it produces a set of attractors as a result, right? In complex systems, you have an attractor. And for us, it is like hard work and individualism create sort of secondary outcomes, which means like, the expectation is that if I do those things, a good thing will happen, but like other people may be doing those things too. And you can't win. You can't win every time. Like that just, it doesn't happen. And so those first moments, like in that structure where you get confronted with like, well, I thought these were the rules, but it's like a reductive version of the rules that you like put down to like help someone remember, like work hard and put your head down and like good things will come of it. You then assume like every time I work hard, then I'll win, or every time I work hard, then a good outcome will come. And it's like, oh, we left that part out of the rules where someone else may also be doing that same thing and you don't get this one. Not to mention like other sort of artifacts within the system that are sort of like inherently unfair.
And thus, we must remind ourselves of the 4 rules of escape room. True life lessons that also can help us be nimble in the face of new challenges in time.
Wow.
Would you like to know?
Please.
Yes. Remind me of the 4 rules of escape room.
Here are the 4 rules of escape room. Okay. Always be problem solving. That feels kind of critical, but it's like, hey, you're looking at, it's like this thing that I've always done, why isn't it working? Well, maybe actually we need to be thinking critically, analytically about that thing rather than jumping to any conclusions. Rule number 2, always be communicating, right? Always be communicating. Don't be jumping to all these conclusions and stewing and simmering. And what did we just learn about the idea of like ruminating on things? Like we learned that that's not good. But we also learned that maybe talking about things is not good. But anyway, you get the idea. Okay, number 3, always be moving, right? Like if something is not serving you, if something is not working, why do we expect that anything is going to change? Keep going, keep hustling, keep moving about the escape room. And lastly, and perhaps in my opinion, most importantly, always be thinking laterally. Always be thinking laterally, because whatever it is that you're stuck on, if you're stuck, you're stuck. Bring in outside inspiration. Change your point of view. Change your perspective. Change the way you're looking at that weird door that you've put your hands on 5 million times. And for some reason, on the 6 millionth time, it actually opens and you found the next key to the next clue. Thinking laterally, let go of anything that you're stuck in and take you to the next layer, etc.
I'm actually speechless because it's so good.
To be clear, I also have to give credit. This is to my best friend's friend from college at Bowdoin College. I don't actually know the origins of this, other than that it came from someone very, very wise and very good at escape rooms.
We need to post that in the show notes and give credit to friend's friend at Bowdoin. I like what I like most about it is that it reminds me that a lot of the moments that you hear, whether it's career-wise or life-wise, a lot of these things are communicated because we feel stuck. It's like stuck leads to frustration.
Yes.
And the frustration leads to, well, what do I do? It's either going to be a vent or it's going to be a momentum-building action. And I think that most of the things that we experience that are like, oh, we're not creating a sense of possibility is because we're just sitting in our stuckness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All of that, it leans on make sure that you speak to your, make sure that you recognize you're a part of a community and that you've got other people that you can speak to. Joey, you made me think about like the loneliness of individualism. You have to be a part of a community, and then that's a way to unlock a sense of progress or possibility. Like leaning into your creativity, that's the lateral thinking bit. That also preserves your sense of imagination, of being like, don't just lean on the logical, just lean on the evocative. Hold on to a learning mindset. Think of it as an investment mindset. How are you like adding the learnings that you're doing onto each other to get you to a different outcome faster next time? Always keep moving. Lean into intention, or lean in with intention rather than passivity. Don't just let the room be unlocked for you because you're not going to get out.
Yes.
And look through other people's eyes. That also goes to the lateralism. Think about it the way that somebody else who's not you would think about it. Think about it like a kid, like a child at that birthday party. Look under the table rather than just looking on top of the table. Like, clearly I had my own list of like actual answers protecting my sense of possibility.
But
and
there's so much alignment with escape rooms.
There is. And escape room's a more fun way to think about it.
Well, and I like both of the things you guys said. I'm like, yes, yep, correct, great. like the we've talked about this, Aaron, like off. I don't know if we've spoken about it in the show before, but it's like sometimes for me, a really helpful reminder to like pull yourself out is just like, there's always a game. What is the game that you're playing? Which kind of fits with that escape room idea of like, every new room you walk into, every new like situation has some set of rules. Like, what is the game that you're playing? What are you trying to accomplish? And that sometimes can feel negative, maybe like that it's like manipulation or too logical or whatever. But like for me, like there are like ally partners in a game. Like you can like build up a community within a game. Like there are people that I talk to sometimes who are running other companies where I'm literally just sharing rules. Like what are the new rules? Like the market is shifting, whatever. Like what are the rules you're playing by right now? Here's the rules I'm playing by. Like let's share. Like share notes and help each other if we can. Like you can be a cooperator in all of these situations, but like you have to figure out what is the game I'm playing, what is the outcome that I want to happen at the end of this.
One thing that I've heard before, or not heard before, but it makes me again think about is like if some of these frustrations feel like an escape room, then the escape room itself can feel like an MC Escher painting where it's always turning into something different all the time. You need different rules for navigating that ever-evolving space, but two other things are true. One is that is just life. Like, life is the escape room of MC Escher painting. It is all the pieces are moving around constantly, and you're just all of a sudden like, oh God, is gravity still a thing right now? Am I upside down? Am I on my side?
Oh, we're not doing gravity.
And then
cool, we're not doing gravity now. Cool.
cool. And the other piece, it's very the Matrix, is like we're all Neo in the Matrix in that we are creating our own rules to shape our own realities. That, to me, is the unlock of my life, at least like my current chapter of life, is that if I am always assuming that not only are there gates, but that there is an established path, or that there is a clear ladder, or that there is whatever the case may be, I am always going to be screwed up because I'm following someone else's blueprint.
You're about to lose the game. Don't lose
I'm going to lose the game. Don't lose the game. Make your own rules.
I just
you have
lost
to define.
No,
I just lost the game too. I was thinking it, yeah.
Because if you don't it's such a big thing. I think that adulthood is about, and growing up is about redefining what success looks like for you. And as you change what success is, you change the rules, and then it doesn't become about somebody else's rules. And that painting, that MC Escher painting, can crazy evolve around you, and yet you've got a center of gravity.
Yeah, I mean, you made me realize too, Aaron, like the idea of when people, I guess, right now talk about like boundaries or things like that, what you're talking about is like, here's the rules to be Aaron's husband, or to be Joey's friend, or to be whatever. Like you have a set of rules. To pretend that you don't is false. It is like making someone play a game that they don't understand what game they're playing. And so like the more transparent you can either be about presenting rules or asking about rules of whatever game you're playing in a situation can be helpful. And also know that all of the rules of any game will not be able to be like explicitly stated, because maybe it's impossible to know a future circumstance because we live in dynamic systems, or because someone doesn't understand all of the rules. So it's like you try to learn as many as you can, but you're not going to get them all, you know?
And if you don't set those rules, if you don't set those boundaries, they'll be made for you. And no one else is going to do so with intention, because the system, that MC Escher painting, is the one that's just throwing out this, that, and the other. And you'll only have yourself to blame if you start following those rules that don't quite make sense or sit with you.
Okay, but also sometimes rules are emergent. And so it's not because someone else has a set of rules and they're forcing those rules on you. It's like you should think about your own, but also, right? And that's what we're saying here. It's like it's actually all of this. It's all of this. It's not like the one rules. Rules them all.
Yes. Is that the I was going to do burrito because I always do burrito. I haven't done. Is that the chicken Caesar salad wrap up corner? Is that, does that get us there?
Life's a game. Good luck.
I love that. That is the right answer to how do you like preserve your sense of possibility. Recognize life as a game. Good luck. Do. Try. Go. I think that's
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yes. Listen, we all should effie trinket the shit out of life. I think that is a good idea. I support it. Well, yes, Elizabeth.
Once again,
thanks.
We did it.
Yes, Elizabeth, thanks.
Always. Press your luck.
Critical Nonsense is a Sylvain production.
Brought to you by Nails by Effie. We are Effie Trinket's new nail salon. We have left the capital because it doesn't exist anymore. Whoopsies! But we like blue and purple, so buy from us now. Is anyone gonna hear this? Okay, bye.
As always, we'd like to thank our executive producer and dungeon master, Jess Vander.
We'd also like to thank sound engineer and Dragon Scale producer, Alex Contel.
We'd like to thank our programming coordinator and murder mystery participant, Les Jacobs.
We would also like to thank the incredible crew of Parkitect, a roller coaster and amusement park sim that I am playing and is a game, and therefore fits this metaphor of thank yous. Sarah Gilbert, Amy Waters, KJ, Nora Mestridge, Amanda. I get this wrong. How have we been doing this?
There's a script sheet for this.
There's a script sheet for this. I am so terrible. I really love you all. It's just a lot of names. It's so the part of my brain that doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Sarah Gilbert, Nora Mestridge, Chrissy Jensen, Amanda Medina, and Amy Waters.
Thank you. Someone else has to take that one. I'm ruining it every week.
And as always, thanks, Ellen. Special thanks to Parkitect, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I love it. It is
just new Roller Coaster Tycoon, basically.
Yeah. And so I'm playing it on console, which is wild. I've tried a few other sims on consoles, and they're not great because there's just so much precision in any sim that you're building. But Parkitect is like, it is perfect. It's literally High School Me all over again, and I love it, and I have found that it is my cozy game, and thank you, Parkitect, for the 2 hours that I've gotten into it so far, but I love it.
Love that for you. I'm special thanks to Erica's friend, Tom, the creator of the 4 rules of Escape Room. Also, one other game, Monument Valley, is like an MC Escher puzzle solving. It is the metaphor for life. Boom.
Love it.
Also, special thanks, I guess, to the designers of Age of Empires 2, which apparently is among that particular third person like RPG. What would it be called, Aaron? Is that right?
I think is it a 4X game technically? Like, is that where it sits? Yeah.
Yeah. But is still considered the peak of that, and it came out in like 2003, and people are like still actively engaged in it. And I'm like, hey, good for you guys. Thanks for creating that game that way.
Today I learned 4X stands for Explore, Expand, Exploit, Exterminate, a subgenre of strategy-based games that includes both turn-based and real-time strategy. Generally involves building an empire.
It's awesome.
StarCraft, Warcraft,
Civ.
I was gonna say thanks to Sid Meier, who, this story is apocryphal and therefore may not be quite right, but I understand that as Sid Meier was developing Civilization, he met with Robin Williams, and Robin Williams told him, "You need to call it Sid Meier's Civilization. Like, it's very important for your name to go along with this idea," and that's why.
That's why it's Sid Meier's Civilization.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
So like I said, apocryphal, Google it. We're in the era of who knows what's true or not. So who knows? But I've heard that before.
We did it.
Wait, before we fully do it, any other gaming recommendations that we strongly sit on?
Ooh.
I've heard from Ryan that the Dune game slaps. Also, Expedition 33, the French indie game. Very, very interesting. Sort of what's it called? The steampunk kind of a fantasy universe. Claire Obscure, it's called. Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Strong recommend. Really interesting JRPG. I went to OS NYC. If anyone is in New York, check it out. It's downtown, 50 Bowery. And it's like a esports gaming bar clubhouse community center thing. But I went in 2 days ago. Bartender at the front was literally playing Clair Obscura just by himself in between orders, and I just sat there and watched him play for a while. And it is an amazing game and a delightful place.
Grounded is a like survival game where you're basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in a backyard.
Wow.
And it's reasonably challenging and has a little bit of like the Souls-like dynamic where you have new game plus 2, like whatever to like get all the things. It is, if you have time, it is great.
That qualifier.
And I should probably play it with like turning down some of the survival dynamics, but it was a fun game, but it is hard and cool.
I love this. We're going to put these in the show notes and we're going to add more because
yeah, it's happening.
That's happening. Because life is a game and games are life. So just remember that part of it too.
That's it. Simple as that. All right. Love you. Okay, mean it.
bye.
Bye.